Eleanor is probably the most fearless person I know. She was full of raw energy and ideas and irrepressible.
Eleanor has inspired a number of artists that today are prominent in their own right. And I think she did that just by being herself. Eleanor is a force of nature.
Okay, so help us get to know you. Who are you? And what do you do?
Well, I'm an artist. My name is Eleanor Antin, and I forgot what I do.
Eleanor is one of the most important figures in art of the last decades just because of the topics in the real world she takes on, from gender, politics, feminism, to the way she mixes many media of art. Writing, drawing, acting, dance, film, all together. No one's done it like Eleanor's done it.
My credit. La, Louis, we have work to do. We must set our house in order.
I always knew I was an artist. I think I was born knowing. I used to make up stories with my paper dolls. I spent hours going through with them as if everything was perfectly real. They had all sorts of experiences as I could imagine them at that age. I was very young. I think I lived more deeply with my paper dolls than I did out in the world.
Conceptualism, feminism, and performance art are three huge, impactful things that happened in visual art starting in the 1960s, 1970s. One of the things about these influential artists from this generation that Eleanor's from, they were really going against the grain. And I wouldn't be surprised if there were many moments of reprisal. And for these artists to sort of stick to this idea, stick to this work the way Eleanor has, takes a kind of toughness and a strong belief in what you're doing, an ability to fight for it.
There are so many things that make Eleanor deserving of the Revell Medal. She was one of the founders of a department that is now ranked among the best in the world. She was a phenomenal mentor to students who then became phenomenal artists of their own. Of course, she was one of the leading artists of her generation, but she was also an impactful and continues to be an impactful voice in recognizing that the arts are not closed in the ivory tower of the university, but even extraordinary experimental art is there to make a difference. Eleanor Antin made a difference.
The most important thing Eleanor taught me was to be fearless. Art making is difficult because once you've made it, this art doesn't only belong to you, it belongs to the world. There's a sense of fear of failure or criticism. And Eleanor taught me to be courageous. She said, be brave. Who cares? Just do it.
I've always known Eleanor as an ironic, funny person in general. It definitely makes you smile. You look at so much of her work, but then your next immediate reaction is to take that apart, dissect what she's doing and understand the critique under it of gender stereotypes or her feminist politics and opening up the world to more equity. It's a quick movement from the grabbing you with humor and irony and then making you dive into all of these deeper, very, very essential issues to our culture and time.
I don't try to be funny. I think I just am.
Did you want to say anything about David?
I I was also extremely fortunate. I had a love life, a married life with a fabulous person, very creative, a great artist himself. He's a poet. Well, we both loved each other's work. We affected each other's work in a very rich and creative way. As I've always been committed to the avant-garde and to the new, I would suggest do what you feel and want to do. And you don't always know what that is, but as you start to play out in the world with the different, in my case, with my different selves, I learned what it was I wanted to do, and I played it to the full.